asking us what else. You are to hold government accountable. That's your duty under Section 22 of the Constitution. That's why we came to you. The printed copy will be arriving later today or early tomorrow. And every member of the Senate and House of Representatives is getting a copy. We are sending it to the Budget Office, we are sending it to the Minister of Finance, we are sending it to the Minister of Budget and Planning, and we are sending it to as many other stakeholders as possible. So that's what we will do. We are not going to slap anybody if they don't listen, unless anybody presents his cheek in private, not in public. We can give him a slap. So that's the much we can do. We want to put pressure for government to change. About the issue of about the entire package, let me link it up with this entire package. Why we are doing this, well, it's an annual ritual or tradition we do. Why we are particularly interested this year is that you find a situation that government promise change. And we must hold them accountable to that change. With utmost respect to them, the budget is dead on arrival. The Minister of Health went to before the National Assembly and disclaimed the budget. The Lai Mohammed, Minister of Information, also disclaimed his own, the ministry's budget. So if the minister disclaimed their budget, how do you want me to rate a budget that the minister that should be implementing said he doesn't know what it is for? You recall that this budget was sent, they discovered maybe mistakes, it was withdrawn surreptitiously through the back door, and then when the pressure became too much, the president now brought it back through the front door. So if you, as a minister, you were not there when they started preparation, the Federal Executive Council approved of this thing at the first time before it was presented. You did not read it. The president now sought to withdraw it, withdrew it a second time and brought a third one. That second one, you still did not read it. You only waited until you went to the National Assembly to now say, I don't know anything about this budget. There are three things that will happen. Is sheer incompetence, gross incompetence, gross negligence, or failure of supervision. And none of these three is good for the reputation and image of our distinguished and honorable ministers. I know that the budget of these ministries is not so big. Most of them are 30, 40 pages, some 15. It's only big NDAs like health and education that have up to 100 to 200 pages. If myself, I can even run through the health budget and the NDA and the education budget under 2-3 hours. I'm not the one going to spend the money. Why shouldn't the minister sit down? So as far as we are concerned, this budget is a little bit incoherent. There's no overarching policy framework. Now let's even think of it. Look at even the 8 things that people are more or less clapping for the government about. You want to do a school feeding program. Go and look at the constitutional schedules and lists. Should the federal government be thinking of doing a school feeding program in the primary school in my village? What is the work of the local government? What is the work of the state government? If you must do that, can't you transfer that money to the states or local government to undertake that? Primary healthcare centers which the federal government is busy involved in over the years is a local problem for the local community. And you know, because of the model they've adopted, there are so many primary healthcare centers which they build in millions which have been overtaken by weeds. Because federal government will build and now want to hand over to the local government. You did not brief the local government chairman and he doesn't have it in his budget. And what betide you if you belong to different parties? You have soft. Money has been spent, but it's not delivering the service. So I've also told you about this policy inconsistency. So, and we are going to borrow money. The return revenue is only 3.8 trillion. And that 3.8 took account of that $8 per barrel. So by the time you deflate the return revenue, before we start borrowing, by the new benchmark that is likely to come out, we may have less than 3 trillion. So why must you borrow to go and do those things? Can you even sustain that school feeding program over the years? Because this one will be a pilot. What is the criteria you will use to know which schools should benefit and which schools shouldn't? If the school my son is attending is not benefiting, don't I have a right to sue as a taxpayer? Equality before the law and equal protection of the law. Why should they select the school where your child is and leave my own child's school if you want to feed? If you must feed everybody, since we have money to feed people. And who told Nigeria that our problem is feeding children in school? And when did it become a problem? So we must get our priorities right. Now the other issue, my opinion on the merger of budget and planning, we think it's a welcome development. Because the budget office, which was situated in finance, had been causing problems over the years. Planning anchors national development plans, all these visions, needs. So they must be in a position to work with the budget office so that recurrent and capital estimates can come together. And it's only when they come together and you take cognizance of future recurrent estimates of a capital project that there can be harmony in the budgeting process. So I think it's a wonderful development. Now, asking whether these issues were inflated, the budget, you can see for yourself. You don't need anybody to tell you. If ministers are disclaiming their budgets that you want software for 500 and something million, you don't need anybody to tell you that this is a joke. What is there inside the kitchen that requires 80 something million? Those of you who run kitchens, the women here, what is inside the kitchen? If you don't run, the men here, some of you who have wives, who are blessed with wives, how much do you spend to equip your wife's kitchen? How many millions? What is inside the kitchen that is beyond gas cookers, microwave ovens, plates, cutleries, freezers, and maybe juice extractors, dishwasher? These things I'm counting. Just go to Grand Square here and keep 1 million. They give you a lorry load of them, or 2 or 3 million. That's no big deal. We all have these things inside our kitchens. Let's not pretend. We all have it. We all have it. Water heater. How much does it cost? We all have these things. There's no big deal to tell me about the presidency. It's no big deal. We all have them. And we know that they don't cost a fortune. If you have even 300,000 naira, you will be looking for where to pack these things in your kitchen. Although I know a Sorrow kitchen can be much bigger. Now, matter of works, housing, and power. Have I talked about that?
You started with it.
Huh?
Much earlier.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's quite big.
I have a question. My name is John.
You have to address all the questions.